Jai Bhim to all. Friends, I'll be talking about medical and community interventions, uh, which is related to the COVID. Friends, as you know, that on the how does this infection transmit? The infection travels only from person to person, and the infection is only through the respiratory droplets which carry the virus. So the virus does not move on its own. It is people who bring the virus to themselves, or the people who carry the virus somewhere. So uh, uh, what are the precautions that each and every person as well as the community needs to take? This I will summarize in an acronym known as DEW, DEW, and you can also twist the W upside down and make it as M. So DEWM. So what does D stand for? The D stands for distancing. E stands for etiquettes, that is cough and sneeze etiquettes. W stands for washing hands. And twisting of this W to M stands for mask. So friends, let's come to the first one, which is the D, that is distancing. So I will it is at least maintain 1 meter distance between any two individuals and go outside the home only when it is utmost necessary, and do not hold any events in the house, and do not go to crowded places. So that is how we need to maintain distancing. Then as you know that this infection only travels through the respiratory route, so it's better that we maintain certain cough and sneeze etiquettes. So this is the etiquettes. What are the etiquettes? Whenever there is a cough or sneeze, either cover your mouth and nose with a handkerchief or with tissue, or if both are, or if any one of this is not available, then with with the elbow. So this is cough or sneeze etiquettes. And what we usually say is don't use the chunni of the sari or the gamcha. And also do not spit in the open, and always spit in a closed place. So friends, this was a video of the etiquettes. There's a cough and sneeze etiquettes. Next, I will come to washing hands. So wash hands with soap and water. Soap and water is the best one, because it also removes the dirt for at least 20 seconds. And do not touch the eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. And do not touch the common surfaces, which are the grills or the chairs, or say car handles, unnecessarily. If soap and hand water, if soap and water is not available, then we can use 70% alcohol based hand rub. So friends, this was on the washing hands. Now, what are the personal safety and do's and don'ts while we are moving around when we go out or when we are coming home? So friends, when we are moving around the community, as I had said, always maintain at least 1 meter distance. Cover the face with either a mask or a face cover. I'll come to what is the face cover, and avoid touching. As I said, carry a hand sanitizer and use it as frequently as possible, and avoid direct physical contact with anyone. Now, when we are returning home, what shall we do? When we are returning home, at least give a call over mobile to someone in the house so that someone is ready to open the door, so that you avoid touching the handles and the knobs. And immediately on reaching home, we have to wash hands and carefully remove the face cover or the mask, and we can soak it in a bleach solution. And after we remove the face cover and mask, again use either a hand sanitizer or wash the hands. If we have carried some like mobile or purse outside, we can disinfect with a bleach solution. Or it's better that we are when we are carrying our mobile outside, to cover it with a plastic cover, and when we return we can discard that cover into a covered dustbin. So friends, I am now coming to the masks. So there are various types of masks which are available, and uh, the commonly used, or the commonly what we what we hear, is this N95 mask, triple layered medical or surgical mask, and then the face cover. Who should wear this N95 mask? Friends, it is only for those who are dealing, for the healthcare workers or the doctors who are directly dealing with a suspected or confirmed COVID-19 cases. So it is meant for the healthcare workers and not for the general public. Who should wear this triple layered medical mask? You can see it in the picture. So it is, friends, only for the three category of people. One is those who are sick people. Second, if anyone is taking care of the sick person. And third, if anyone is visiting to a hospital for any reason. So what is left for the general public? It is the face cover. This face cover has to be of a cloth which is commonly available in the house, and it has to be of 100% cotton, and there are various guidelines on how it can be manufactured in the house itself. These guidelines are there on the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare website. So, and now there are also improvisations of this face cover. People are also designing various designs on the outside of this face cover. So now when so this was all on the personal one. How do we create a supportive environment? What is home quarantine? What is home care? And what do we need to do when we are traveling back from the city? Friends, as a community, when we are when we are saying when we are living in a community, and this is basically for the civil society organizations or the activists who are very active within their own limited geographical area. For them, it is that they need to make a list of local influencers. This could be gram pradhans, some religious leaders, teachers, or even doctors, and then explain the current situation to them, and also discuss the current protocols which are in place by the government. Identify the community, and also have some cultural networks which are already lined up. This is number one. That is, you identify the local influences. Then within the community, identify who are at the high risk. These are the elderly people, more than 60 years of age. So make a list of them, and also who are there. Now, whom do this elders usually contact? Who are their friends? Are they suffering? Are these elder people suffering from any comorbidities? So these needs to be listed, and then we have to coordinate between between the local communities, as well as we have to see whether this high risk group, they require certain essential services like say food, grocery, or even medicines. So the local community, or this local activist or the civil society organizations need to take care of their needs. Friends, there is also I'll come to what is home quarantine and what is isolation. So quarantine is basically for those who have traveled or who are in contact. No, but they are not a confirmed case. And as you know, I'll repeat again, to maintain at least 1 meter distance between those people, have a separate room identified in the person's house, and avoid any visitors to the house. And if this person develops any signs and symptoms, then to contact the local government health authorities, and always wear a mask. At the same time, we need to assign at least only one person to take care of this particular person, and all the clothes, beddings, utensils of this person needs to be kept separately and needs to be washed frequently with with at least with a bleach solution. The clothes needs to be washed in warm water and soap, and needs to be dried in the sun. This particular case, which is a suspected case, needs to be monitored for any of the signs and symptoms, and there needs to be frequent hand washing. And then what is isolation? Isolation is for those people who are confirmed cases of COVID, and then they are isolated, totally isolated, and that is the difference between quarantine and isolation. If any person, usually now this is related to the migrants, if migrant, which are usually our community people, when they are returning home, that then that's the time they have to do a self quarantine. They need to avoid hugging their near and dear ones. They need to not share their clothes and utensils with anyone, avoid any function, avoid bringing any guest to the house, and always wearing a mask. Friends, now I'm coming to a very important topic, which is stigma and discrimination. So what is stigma and what is discrimination? So stigma is something which is in our head and we believe. And what is discrimination? Discrimination is something which is in action. Either we talk something bad about someone, or we make certain gestures, or or there's a violent action as well. So this is discrimination. So why there is this stigma and discrimination? And it is very prevalent in the communities because this disease is a new disease. Many things are not known of this disease. And when many things are not known, people fear. And then there are lots of rumors and fake news which is going around, which also spreads fear. So friends, I'm not going to into these examples because of shortage of time, but it can be anyone who can be stigmatized. Here there's an example, when a person who is returning from a city and coming to a village, that family itself is stigmatized. There's another one, a daughter, a girl who is returning from school because she has a seasonal cold, and then her teachers are telling her to go home. So this is stigmatization. Actually, there was no symptoms of COVID, it was just cold. But then the teachers and some students, they interpreted it as symptoms of COVID. So this is stigmatization. There's another few examples here, which are of elderly as well as of someone who takes care of certain children. So friends, stigma makes people hide their problems because they are fearful that after stigmatization, the community will behave in an inappropriate way. It keeps people away from accessing health services and seeking help, and it discourages them and may at times prevent them from adopting healthy behaviors. In this COVID situation, who all are stigmatized? Friends, someone who has fever can be stigmatized. Someone who has cough can be stigmatized. I remember a case in one of the district where there was a person who had sneezed in the market, and then that person was beaten up. Stigmatization. Traveler. I'm not talking just of an international traveler, but also our migrant travelers who are our community members. When they travel, there is so much of stigmatization, and you could have seen it in the news. Those were our people. Who can be stigmatized? Someone who is looking like a Chinese, someone from the northeastern region of India. They are our people. Someone from a particular religion, doctors and healthcare workers, when they are returning home, people are not people are stigmatizing them. They are not they are driving them away, that you will be infecting our colony, our society. So that is stigmatization. So friends, what should be done? Anyone can get infected due to COVID. So that's why we should words matter. We should not say that it is a Chinese virus or it is a Wuhan virus. No, we should talk about COVID. We should say that people who are being treated or who are recovering from COVID, or people who died from COVID, we should never say that these are suspects. This particular community or this particular person is a suspect. No, friends. We should not stigmatize. We should not say that they are victims, that they are spreading the virus. This is what we had heard from of a particular religion, of a particular country. We should not say that. We should speak accurately, basis on scientific data. Our our community is a scientific community, and we should only speak on the scientific facts, and we should not share unconfirmed rumors and fake news. Always talk positively and emphasize the effectiveness of prevention and treatment measures. Never talk about negative things. So do your part. Spread the facts, engage social influencers, amplify the positive voices, correct misconceptions, and share sympathetic narratives. Friends, thank you very much for this. Jai Bhim.